we're just gonna do all one big video, and then I will walk around and show what they are, if I need to. Then for the rec side, I'm gonna have Callie and Allie tomorrow when they get here, so right around 9, do the rec stations, because a lot of them I want to be able to put them how maybe you should put them. There's stations on bars that we haven't done before. There's stations on floor that we haven't done before, so I'd like to be able to show you with a kid how to like spot that, and not necessarily spot it because I know you all know how to spot, but like different ways to do it, what you should be looking for, what it should look like, because I can't talk and do it, but also like do it the wrong way and fix myself, you know, so it's just easier that way. So those will be out before 9:30, because this will all be set up. It already is set up on that side, and so they'll just come in, and that's going to be their warm-up, is they're going to do the stations for me. And those videos are normally like 2 to 3 minutes long. They might be like 4 to 5, just because I'll talk while they're doing it, and spotting them and things like that. But for preschool, I'm going to try and start doing one video, that way it's all just kind of in one place, and then that way you don't have to go find specific videos trying to remember what week it is, especially if you don't have it in front of you, what weeks we're on and all that fun stuff. So it's just we're gonna try this out and see how it goes. Most of the stations on preschool side we have done before, or are repeats of things that we have done last summer. I try and at least do that a couple times just to kind of to kind of gauge where everybody's at with those kinds of things. Some of these stations touch on skills that you haven't touched on yet since summer session's starting, so be sure to look at that in your book also. But we're going to go through this really fast. So some of the things changed, not too much, but it will be crossed out on the paper and fixed. So when you read it and when you see the pictures of the setup, just make sure that you know that it may not be exactly what it said the first time, because I always make rec first because they use the most mats when it comes to bigger mats and things like that. And I accidentally put the fact of them throwing a ball into the big circle mats, the 2 yellow ones that make a circle, and when rec is already using one and beam for preschool is already using one. So that's not happening. It will be a hula hoop that's tied to the spotting belt up above the trampoline, so they'll jump and they'll throw it through the hoop rather than throw it into a circle mat, because those are both being used. So that's just one of the examples. I think that's the only one. I think there might be another, but we'll see when we get there. So for tumble track, everybody is going to do a different form of a jump on all the hearts. Hearts are like an easiest shape for a kid to recognize. That's easier than, or that's harder than a circle or a triangle. And we've done stars a bunch of times, so just trying to mix up the shapes, no specific reason. Yellow will just jump. Doesn't matter how, really, however you'd like them to. Tuck jumps for green, and then star jumps. So please make sure that they're jumping on all of those and not just running through past them, or like doing it halfway and then running the rest of the way. Then on the green one, this is the one where it says shoot the ball into the mats. It will be shoot the ball into the hoop. Okay, there's no stations right in front of the green trampoline by the door and the fan, so if the ball for whatever reason does go on the floor and like all the way crazy out there, it won't hit anybody, so it'll be totally fine. I made sure not to put anything back there. That's the same for everybody. The big blue trampoline, the one over in the corner, yellow has free jumps, green has free jumps, red has free jumps. Now, if you're worried that they're just going to mess around and not really jump and just kind of go willy-nilly, whatever, you can kind of give them a couple jumps to pick from. It kind of just depends on your class. So that's totally up to you, or free jumps is also totally fine. The small blue trampoline, the super tiny one, yellow will do single foot jumps. Doesn't matter which foot really for yellow, but they do have to be able to jump on one foot, so maybe give them a number of how many to do in a row. Tell them not to switch feet back and forth. You know, if they're going to switch from one foot to the other, do this many on this foot before you do this foot, so on and so forth. Green is going to jump and spin a whole time around, so 360 degrees, and stop in SLP, trying to get them to work on their peripheral and see where they're at and be able to stop and look at what's going on around them as they're doing something, and be able to stop on a dime is going to help a lot when it comes to certain skills that we're going to try and do more of rather than stations for them. But also just keeps them busy, and it's way more fun than just doing straight jumps. Then red's gonna do the same thing. Red should be way better at that than green. Green, they may fall a couple times before they get the hang of it. Red, they should be able to just spin, like they should be skilled enough to spin and land on their feet and stop, no problem. Then we're gonna go to the floor stations. The one with the hula hoop and the bucket, it's the red bucket with the holes in it, not the actual red bucket. We don't have that many buckets. So we took the small bucket, and it has balls in it, the colored ones, and there's a hula hoop. So they're going to start on the side with the hula hoop, and they're going to log roll for yellow, forward roll, and then forward roll for red and green. And they're going to log roll or forward roll from the hoop all the way to the bucket, and then they're going to pick up a ball from the bucket, and then they're going to either log roll or forward roll back and put it in the hula hoop. So it's like it's almost like going to grab something and taking and putting it back, and then going to grab something and taking and putting it back. So moving all the balls from the bucket one at a time to the hula hoop by doing either log rolls back and forth or forward rolls back and forth. So kind of implementing two things at one time. If they cannot do forward rolls by themselves, they may log roll if you would like them to, if you don't want to spot them. None of the other stations need spot, so if you really do want them to do their forward rolls and you do have a class where they're decent at listening and you are able to spot it, please do so. But if that's going to take up your entire energy and the rest of your class is like crazy, you don't have to have them do forward rolls if they can't by themselves yet. You're more than welcome to have them just do log rolls to save your sanity for that time being. Then for the cartwheel block, yellow's going to do donkey kicks on it, then green is going to do cartwheels over it, so their hands can start on if you'd like. If they're more advanced, they can start with their arms up, totally up to you. Red is going to do cartwheels over the cartwheel block, but starting and ending standing, so they have to start with their arms up by their ears, then they can cartwheel, but then they also have to land with their arms up, so just a little bit harder. Beam's going to be way easier to go over. Holy cow. So we're going to have the wobble board as the extra station, which is just a little board with penguins on it. And it wobbles back and forth, and they'll stand on it, and they can use the wall if they need to in order to be able to help them get up, but really try and have them not use the wall if possible. On the high beam, there's cones all spread out across the sides. Yellow is going to walk forward and bend down and tap the top of each one, so top, like with their hand, like bend over and touch the top with it. Green is going to do tap the top of each one with their foot, so instead of bending over and touching it, they're going to just bend down on one leg, touch it with the other foot, bend down, touch it with the other foot, bend down, so on and so forth with their foot all the way down until they get to the end. And then red is going to walk backwards and touch the top every time they see one. So step backwards, touch the cone with your foot, step backwards, touch the cone with your foot. On the not opposite sides, I don't remember when this was, but there was a little girl and she was like trying to cross her leg and touch the other side. Have them touch the side that lines up with the foot that they pick up. Okay, they don't have to cross and touch with opposite legs. Then we have the seesaw beam. The kids really seem to like that, plus it's helping with their balance and all that. So yellow walk forward, blue walk sideways, and red walk backwards. Should be easy peasy, no problem. We also have the tunnel beam this time, so they'll bear crawl under the tunnel, everyone. It's pretty high up, so they should be able to fit hands and knees, if not army crawl, through the tunnel. Then what else do we got? We got the shark beam. They have jumps over the shark, 1 foot jumps over the shark, and then leaps over the sharks. So there's 3 sharks on the beam. Don't touch them. Either jump, 1 foot jump, or leap over all the sharks. On the small beam, the little carpet beam, we have the hula hoop. They're going to hold the hula hoop and balance on 1 foot with the other foot at their ankle for yellow. You can either have them hold the hula hoop above their head or beside them and stand in it, or up here or beside, doesn't really matter. hold the hula hoop above the head and balance and releve for green. So that one is extremely difficult. So really make sure that you're teaching them how to grab the beam with their feet and how to squeeze their belly and all that stuff. That way you're not having to tell them every 5 seconds, stay on the beam, try not to fall so many times, stay on your feet, this, that, and the other. If you don't want to have to be saying that, you have to teach them how to not do that. So if they are one where they'll stand there and they'll just dramatically fall over, every 5 seconds, or they think it's a game and all these things, make it to where they know exactly how to stay on the beam and how to make it easier. Then that way, if they don't and they're still flopping all over the place, you can then be like, okay, I already told you, how we stay on the beam, how do we do it? They can repeat it back to you, and then you can be like, okay, why are we choosing not to do that? Why are we still flopping all over the floor, Things like that. Super easy, subtle changes to coaching, stuff like that will make your life a little bit easier too. If you explain things to them and then be like, hey, why are we still doing what we were doing before, even though we fixed that, then you can kind of explain to them that you took the time to tell them how to make things better or how to not fall all over the place. And now it's a choice that they're making. So if they're going to make that choice, maybe they lose a stamp, so on and so forth. I'm not seeing too many of those problems, but I have seen a couple. So just things like that to keep in mind. Is that all of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay. Cool. Going on to bars. Varsity stations should be fun this time. I tried to do a lot of ones that we haven't done in a really long time, or different ones, or mix them up. The kids really seem to like the hopscotch bar. The hopscotch bar is literally hopscotch, but with a bar. So the hopscotch is going to be laid out on the floor, 1 through 10. And there's going to be the big white floor bar, and the sliders are going to be underneath the ends. That way it moves. So their hands are going to be on it, and literally they're going to push the bar and do hopscotch while they push the bar. And it's so cute because some of the little ones can't really always get 1 feet, 2 feet, 1 feet, 2 feet. But they seem to really like that one. So it's literally just hopscotch, but you're in a push-up shape, pushing the bar as you go. So it's a little bit harder, but it also mixes in a little bit of coordination on top of that. So that's for everybody. That's what everybody's going to be doing. On the rings, yellow will do tuck swings, straddle swings for green, and pike swings for red. Same thing, if your kids don't understand those words yet, think of different words to use for them. So tuck, you could always say in a ball or cannonball, things like that. Straddle, you could be like starfish or star, whatever. Pike, you could be an L, things like that. So if they don't quite understand those words, but they're needing to understand what those words means, try and compare it to something else, or that sounds like that word. Straddle, starfish, straddle, star, all those things work out to hopefully get them to understand a little better. On the uneven bars, so there's stairs and a mat. I've noticed that the mat makes it 10 years higher for the stairs, so it'll be way easier for them to get up there, and you shouldn't have to help them as much. But they're going to jump up there or crawl up there and stand on the low bar, grab the high bar, and shimmy across. So just walk sideways, feet on the low bar, hands on the high bar. Green will do stand on the low bar, grab the high bar, and swing down. Please make sure their hands and feet are on something at all times. Do not jump to the bar. Okay, we're not standing on the low bar, putting our hands up in the air and saying, woo, and jumping and grabbing the high bar. We don't need anybody falling on their face. So, same thing as yellow, but then they just, instead of walking sideways, they just drop their feet down. So please let them know that if they are caught jumping to the bar, or their hands and feet are not on the bars at the same time before they let go, please sit them out. Please take a stamp away. Please do something, because I do not want to be responsible. I do not want you to be responsible, and Tara doesn't need to be responsible for kids making that terrible decision. So if you feel the need, you can stand over there, but I know that some people have spotted this before and it's been totally fine, and kids haven't really needed spots. So totally up to you how you want to do that and how you want to handle that with your class. If you trust them, go for it. If not, I would stand there just in case. And then red, they're going to do bent knee flyaways, spotted on the low bar. We've done these before. So all they're going to do is hang on the low bar, put their legs through, kind of like they're going to hang upside down by their knees. So hold on to the bar, put their legs through like they're going to hang upside down by their knees, and then they're going to drop their hands to the ground. So that way their knees are hanging on the bar, but their hands and almost their head, if not their head, is on the ground. And then all they're going to do is kick over. So you're going to help them from putting their hands on the bar and hanging upside down to putting their hands on the floor and their head on the floor, and then helping them flip over. If you need someone to show you how to do that, our previous rec coaches, and not rec coaches, preschool coaches, that were here before summer, they know what those are, so you can always have them show you, or I can show you when you come in. Then, what else are we doing? Oh, on one of the medium bars, so the one with the orange underneath it, you're going to do spotted forward rolls on that bar, forward rolls from front support for green, and then cast in a row for red, or no, jump to front support, then forward roll. Hold on. Spotted forward rolls from front support. Yeah, cast in a row. Okay, I was right. Cast in a row. I just had it all switched up because red can already do that. Okay, so on the medium bar with the orange that's underneath it, that's the bar you'll spot at if you need to. Spotted forward rolls for yellow, you're going to have to help them because a lot of them are scared. Green, they'll do forward rolls from front support, and then red will do cast in a row, and that's going to sound confusing because the next bar for red is forward rolls. So, then the low bar with the green mat underneath it, they're going to do jumps over the pit blocks using the bar to help them push up and jump. So hands on the bar, push up and jump over the pit block, keep your hands on the bar, okay, and then move them over. Push up, jump over the pit block, keep your hands on the bar, then move them. So just getting them to use those front support muscles that they're going to need, but without jumping fully to front support yet. Then green will do jump to front support, cast, push away over the pit block. So green only needs one pit block, not three. You can tell them they can put it back as far as they want to, but when they cast push away, they have to go over it, not in front of it. And then red will do jump to front support, forward roll. I didn't feel like they needed any pit blocks for that, so you don't need pit blocks for red on that station. And then last is the big high bar. This is our glide slide. I love our glide slide. It's super fun. I think the kids like it too. So there's a red beam, and the green wedge, the small one, is tilted up on it, so it's like this. That way it's a little higher. There's going to be a slider on the green wedge, so they'll grab the bar, they'll put their feet on the slider, and they'll just whoop, slide down the wedge. Don't let go of the bar, obviously, but it'll be like a glide because they start in a hollow or a pike, and they'll slide their feet down, and they'll just whoop, and they'll slide out, and if they can slide out and come back to the green, that way it's a little more challenging for them. That's totally okay too. But everybody's doing that on that station also. So I think that's it. I'm going to get these pictures taken and sent out. The hula hoop will be set up with the ball tomorrow morning. The hearts will be drawn on the tumble track tomorrow morning. If anything changed, like the ball and the circle mat, it'll be crossed out and written on there. The lesson plans for big and little will be sent picture-wise. Obviously, those are self-explanatory enough that those don't need videos, but for whatever reason, if you do have questions, please let me know. Some of them may be completely different stations. I've come to kind of trying to make those stations match is a little bit difficult because of the skill level. So, especially with these, a beam is fairly similar. This is fairly similar. Bars is a little bit different, obviously, for skill level reasons, but there may be times where the equipment for certain stations completely changes, so just make sure that you're paying attention to that and not necessarily, oh, well, aren't we supposed to use this for this station because that's what is set up? No. Okay, there may be times where it's completely different and that you're totally right. So, but yes, if you have questions, please let me know. I will be here early tomorrow morning, making sure everything is all set up and ready to go, and getting Callie and Allie in here to get those rec stations sent out, especially since there's no rec classes until the afternoon, and those will be out before 9:30, so you'll have from 9:30 and or whatever you're doing with your day tomorrow until you come in for classes to review. But I'm very excited for this time around. These are ones that I've gotten feedback before from coaches. The kids have really liked when it comes to certain ones. So a lot of the stuff on the rec side is different. We're going to try some different things to get some skills moving a little faster. But yes, I'm done rambling. This has been 20 minutes long. So sorry. I have that terrible habit, but try and cover everything as in detail as I can without going too overboard. So these pictures will be out. Rec will be out before 9:30 tomorrow morning, and all of these pictures will go out here in like 30 seconds.